All of you.
Oh,
Oh yeah, I forgot to turn my freaking shit up.
all right.
You're some funny fucking guys, I tell you that.
All right, well, hello everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Secrets of Aal'Teron. My name is Brandon the DM, your game master, dungeon master, whichever term you prefer to use, depending on which system that you are playing. Tonight I'm joined by our wonderful cast, starting with the frizzled, grizzled man to my right-hand side. I'm getting good at that intro.
Yeah, you are. Hey everybody, I'm Grisquatch, and I'm just a ranger dude, playing a dude.
This guy has another dude.
This guy has another dude. This guy has another dude. I'll be playing Aal'Teron, the human ranger, the wild bounty ranger.
Yeah. Steakums.
Hey everybody, I'm Steak. I will be playing Zorthos, the feral tiefling arcane trickster. Is he immortal? Well, he hasn't died yet, has
You
he?
did die. You were dead.
Well, I
But now
still
he's back.
got the character sheet right here. Read them and weep.
Oh, I'm gonna kill Zorthos tonight. David Grace.
Hi everyone, I am real David Grace, otherwise known as Big Daddy Louston. Big Daddy Louston is down on his luck right now, folks. He's at -9 hit points and is unconscious.
Not good.
This might be the last time you see me.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think it's a strategic move.
if David dies, or if Louston dies, he's playing Mr. Tibbs the rest of the campaign.
Anyway, I'm not coming back next week.
And Thick Pastel.
Hi, it's me, Thick Pastel. And after last recording, I'm feeling very moist in the eyes. You know, because Louston is dead and
Oh
I'm
my
sad about it.
Fucking God.
Fair enough. I gotta say, moist in the eyes. That's one way to go.
People are gonna think that's about vaginas, you know.
Only because you pointed it out.
Just saying.
Holy shit.
Let's
You're
Please
welcome.
tweet that. Somebody tweet that.
Which part? The wet eyes or the vagina part?
I
Or just
said
the
tweet it.
entire,
That's-
the entire
I
quote.
should get a
The entire
t-shirt.
thing.
I need a t-shirt for Gen Con that just says they're gonna think you're talking about vaginas, you know.
Over to Twitter.
Alright, let's do a little recap of last week's episode. Last week, the party, and by the party, I mean Louston, Luna, and Zorthos, with Vitalis at their side, made their way to the Haxos Keep to find Aaron. Luna developed a very, very meta plan with Vitalis, the infamous summon 8 pixies and polymorph over and over and over spell plan. While the
Good
party
name.
continued to travel the way. It is so meta and overused. That is a conversation for an entire YouTube video.
Bad Luna. Bad.
It's a good combo. I love that combo. It's so fucking fun. It's just
You want?
like,
Can we pause for a
Cool.
second?
yes.
That isn't the reason that I was doing it. The reason that I thought about it was because I needed to figure out a way to make all of our health over 100 because of magic. I like to do power word kill, bitch. That's why I thought about that, because I was like polymorph, and I was like, why am I polymorphing us? I could freaking polymorph him. That's how I came to that conclusion. It wasn't super meta.
Anyways, everybody, after that little intermission we just had, last week the party made the way to the Haxos Keep to find Aaron, who engaged in combat with his father because the Spectre informed him that no matter what happens at the Keep, he wins. Either the party dies, or he temporarily dies, in which case his spirit will be teleported to his phylactery, sending him to the main continent of Aal'Teron, where the prince is, where he can ultimately become reborn and enact his master plan, and finally take down the throne and let his reign rule supreme. The party ended up meeting up with Aaron as he was fighting his father in the middle of the throne. Mr. Tibbs scared off away all the guards with the help of Louston and a shadowy spell that kept the guards distracted, and the parlor continued to further beat the ever-living shit out of the Spectre as Aaron did a pretty good number on him throughout the fight. However, at last minute, the Spectre was pinned on the ground with Louston on top of him. As he chuckled and laughed out loud, knowing what was going to happen next, he shouted out and said, "Let me see who I can take with me," as he burst out some radiant energy with a death burst, sending Louston flying back, hitting the ground unconscious. Vitalis stands at everybody's side. Luna, Aaron, Zorthos, you all see that the Spectre guards fall to the ground as soon as the Spectre is killed, or at least temporarily killed. the spell that he was using for these guards is broken as they bodies hit the floor. Aaron, Zorthos, Luna, you all look around and see that Lauson's body face down into the ground as he got tumbled backwards. Pieces of armor blasted off of him. Half the helmet is gone. Pauldron completely cracked in half. Some of the leg gear, everything, he looks practically destroyed. And that's where we're starting this week's episode. As you look at Lauson, you see that the wisp, the smoke, and the dust that falls from his body looks almost translucent. Rather than being a thick, dark fog, it's more clear, as if it's becoming thin and thin and thin, fading away. Lauson, do me a favor, roll me a death saving throw with disadvantage.
Okay, we're off to a good start, folks.
Lauson has, through his ventures, overall changed the entire structure of his body and his soul to use his soul to cast magic, and then also offered part of his soul to give Zorthos the ability to speak once again. And these abilities and this sacrifice he has been using, I can't see what that is.
18.
Okay.
18!
Double 18s, what the fuck?
Oh,
The
you
soul
saw that
is not
you
ready.
saw it in real time.
Yeah,
That's it.
That's so cool that we got that on camera.
that's
Isn't that cool?
ridiculous.
I'm gonna do all of them like that, but that's a
Wow,
first
so
success.
Lauson, you see that he lays face down on the ground. The smoke still remains, but ever so slightly. Death saving throws are done every round of combat, which means that technically we are not in combat right now, but we will say that Lauson is technically top of the order, giving everybody else an action to take. But this is like immediate. Like, I'm going to go round robin immediately. If you can't think of anything, next. Aaron.
I am still a gorilla.
Zorthos.
I can't help him medically, but I'm going to start clearing debris off of him and like trying to get him at least face up.
Okay.
He's
yeah.
also a gorilla.
Yeah, Zorthos as gorilla. So Aaron's just like...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's way fucking
Aaron's
easier.
just gorilla. And Zorthos is like, ooh, return to monkey. Runs over, starts like moving
Yeah.
rubble and debris. You flip
And
Lauson over.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
I would
Well,
definitely,
you're-
the
you're-
whole time I'm doing it, I'd be saying, ooh, 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 ah, ah, ah!
Xena's like at your side. She's ree. Just
Can
like,
she be a little gorilla?
I will say that for the flavor that Xena turns into, there's a little baby like Apicai right next to you.
Okay.
Yeah, you flip Lauson over and you see
Mhm.
that his face is like really, it's not even just face anymore, it's just like smoke that comes out of the helmet. It's just fading up into the sky or into the room itself. Luna.
I am going to lose concentration on pixies, which loses concentration on monkeys. Nobody's an ape anymore.
Yeah, you guys all return to humanoid.
I'm gonna look at Vitalis. What do we do?
I don't.
You have to do something.
He is not a corporeal body. You see that she is beginning to panic. She's a little
Okay.
shaken. She sees the specter is turned to dust. As she is just kind of looking back and forth. And you see that she is kind of rattling her brain, trying to think. This is not something I'm used to saving bodies and actual humans or creatures, killing and bringing back to life
Right.
actual creatures. But this is he is nothing but a smoke and spirit.
Reincarnate, right? You have that, right?
But
Will that work?
He is not. I don't know, because it's the reincarnation. It's a ritual. It takes. Is he dead? We don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is there anything of him I can take of him to even bring back? And you see she walks over and she takes her hand and kind of like wisps it through like some of the smoke and tries to like pull some of it forward, but they just kind of out of her hand. Lauson, make me 2 death saving throws or a death saving throw with disadvantage.
On
'Cause that was-
camera.
Yes, because that was way more than 6 seconds. 19.
That's 1. That's 2.
Ooh,
2 successes.
That's
successes.
2. That's 2 successes. Anyway, everyone, if you want to download this, it's called Fight Club 5e, folks.
It's a good app.
It'll save your ass.
Yeah. When your DM makes you do death saving throws with disadvantage, pull out the app and everything's fine.
Yeah.
Top of the order,
16?
Aaron, you are no longer monkey. You look at Lauson's body as he's flipped over, and you see that despite the smoke just kind of like fading away up into the air, it's
Cure
still
wounds, third
somewhat.
level.
Do me a favor, roll me an Arcana check if you could.
Okay. Yeah. And let's use this die. It's not a bad roll. Arcana plus 0, 13.
With a 13, you walk over and you attempt to cure wounds. However, because of his body being not body, just spirit, there's nothing really, there's no wounds to cure. However, your magic and your Arcana you're able to muster with whatever materials you have in this panic does seem to smooth out at least the smoke that is kind of wisping away. Rather than being more rapid, you see that you've able to at least calm it down and tame it down a bit.
Okay.
But that's about what happens.
Okay.
Yes.
Anything you'd like to try to do?
I don't want to give him a medicine check exactly because I'm not I'm not really good at those. Is there any way I can stop him from getting like disadvantage? Like, can I just, I don't know, like try to tell him to breathe and give him like, try to
Do
give
me a
him like
favor.
instructions and guidance?
Do me a favor, roll me like a perception or like an insight check, whichever you choose.
Okay, I'll do insight.
Okay.
I rolled a 19 plus 9,
Minus
28.
4.
24.
You're trying to think of like real quick ways to kind of like at least help the situation.
Mhm.
But you look over at Aaron as he casts Cure Wounds, and you can see that it may not have resolved the problem completely, but it probably at least helped. Which meta-wise would probably make you believe like he probably wouldn't be rolling with disadvantage anymore.
Okay. Then no, I'm gonna make sure that nobody's coming up on us while we're trying to help Louston. I'm
Yeah.
gonna make sure we have a perimeter then.
You look around and you see that Tibbs is like kind of terrified because he had all these like shadowy spirits around him, and they just kind of like sunk away, like a bunch of heartless just appeared around him and started helping him fight. And he looks around and goes, okay, oh my fuck, Louston, as he begins to hop over. Luna, Vitalis still stands just kind of curious at this point, seeing as Aaron is casting these Cure Wounds, and she looks at you, and she looks at Lausen, and she says, maybe fate is going to decide this for us?
I'd rather not try to find out. Backup plan. And I'm like gonna think really hard. I'm gonna like Mother of the Echo. Is he with you? Because he was a good person. He was a good person as Louston.
Roll
Relatively
me
good. So
a religion check.
okay, that's gonna be. Why not have a really good one? 10.
10. The 10. Just kind of don't get any sense of message back. Sign. Nothing really kind of clicks with you. You don't really hear much, but as you speak this out loud, Vitalis kind of approaches you and she says, Luna, I don't think that his soul is going to go anywhere. It's being ripped apart. It's fading away before our eyes. I've seen souls of bodies transgress and go to different planes and come out of bodies before and go to the resting places, but not like this. This is different. This is not transportation or divine power. This is destruction. Louston, death saving throw.
Okay, so instead of just using the robot, I'm going to use my metal dice here. Now, this has not been opened since the last time I was on a stream and had to roll death saving throws. So I haven't used these
That one.
in a very long time, and the last time I used them, well, I didn't play D&D for 2 months. But anyway, here we go, live on camera. That is an 18 for the first one. As you can see, I am not touching it.
You do not need to roll
You don't have to-
disadvantage because of the
No.
cure wounds that Aaron
Oh.
put on you.
Well, that is an 18.
As you all look at Lauson's body as the smoke is fading up, you see that it does begin to slowly and subtly kind of come to a stop. You see that he's still kind of wispy, still kind of translucent, a little transparent. Lauson, you do awaken as you lay on your back. But you feel weak, you feel tired. Your strength is kind of depleted at this moment. You raise your, kind of like look down at your hands and your body and your, your armor that is cracked and kind of destroyed. And you can see that the wisps of like where the smoke that was kind of like taking up where your body once was, it's barely even making like a hand. It's just kind of like smoke that kind of comes out. On your right hand, your gauntlet is completely gone and destroyed, and it's just kind of smoke coming out. Your left hand, it does have a gauntlet, but it's, the smoke is kind of filling where the hands would be, and it's, it's somewhat easy to move, but, it's almost as if you're weak, like, almost crippled. You look around, you see that Tibbs, Aaron, Zorthos, Luna, Vitalis all kind of stand over top of you.
Are we out of turn initiative now?
Yes, yeah, he is not
Perfect.
dying. He is essentially stabilized, however, in a very similar fashion to Zorthos, where he has -4 to everything. It's essentially kind of the same situation where, essentially with him using his magic from his soul, quite literally, and burning a soul away when he casts magic, has definitely taken a toll on his body. So when the Spectre did his final act of, magic, it really bursted away a large chunk of that, severely injuring him.
Luna's gonna drop down to the ground right next to Lauston and put her hands on the sides of, reach to put her hands on the sides of his head. Lauston? Oh, you couldn't talk before. Detect thoughts.
What's Lauston thinking?
I don't think I can move.
I don't think you should move.
I don't think there's enough left of me here to keep going.
We thought about reincarnate, but I don't think it's gonna work.
I don't think it would either.
I don't know. I'm gonna try and heal you and see if anything changes, okay? Just don't move, okay? And I'm gonna
couldn't if I tried.
I'm gonna put my hands on both sides of his head very gently.
Okay.
And I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds.
How much do you heal him for with Cure Wounds?
I am going to heal him for 22.
Lauston, you do go up in HP. So you are essentially at 22 HP. You feel a little more like alert and aware. Not so like delusional. You kind of see a little more clearly now. However, the illness, the lack of strength, composure still remains. Vitalis reaches down to your shoulder, Luna. She kind of like sits next to you or like kneels next to you without touching you because pain. She goes, he needs a body.
Does it matter whose body?
His spirit's floating away into nothingness right now. There is nothing for him to latch onto. Whatever was holding him here before is simply gone. Doesn't matter what. It appears we have... She looks around at the 10 that lie amongst the ground that were the guards here. Some elves and dwarves. It appears we have some. Something I could do.
What do you guys think?
But that's only if, as she looks at Lauston, it's only if he is willing. I cannot transcend a spirit from one body to another without a willing spirit, per se.
Well, he can hear you. He just has to talk to me specifically.
And that's why she looked at him as she was saying this. Like, he needs to be willing for this. However, with Lauston's grudge against the Spectre and his followers, Lauston, are you willing to take over one of the bodies of one of the Spectre's followers that he initially took over? Is this something you are willing to do?
It's not that, though. Those aren't the bodies of the Spectre's followers. Those are the bodies of the...
They are not. They're the husks of innocent civilians that the Spectre's followers killed and then transcended into themselves. It's very similar what I'd be doing. It's very similar what the Spectre does. I'd be doing a very similar thing. Taking spirits that lie in limbo and putting into a corpse, a husk per se. That is the same thing. And as she looks at Lauston, I don't know him well, but with his spite against the Spectre, I can't imagine that's something he is wanting to do. Why don't you ask him?
I don't have to. Austin, what do you say? Why
I'll
are you not
ask him.
talking to me?
Hey, Lauston. Lauston! I'm sick of your shit, man. Pick a body. We gotta get back to work. You think you can just float away all willy-nilly? Get back here, you selfish bastard! I'm gonna start shaking his body.
Oh,
You
that's what
you
that
grab
sounds
the armor that's remaining of Lauston, and as you shake,
Yeah.
you see some of the smoke kind of like trails back and like trails forward, and it's like following it.
You
Whisk him
come
away.
back here, you son of a bitch!
So I
This
thought-
is kind of a macabre thought, but there's also another body.
Another body?
Well, two others
Why don't
that
we
I
ask
can think of.
Austin?
There's still the Spectre's body.
Well, no, that turned to dust.
The Spectre's body turned to dust as you guys.
Oh,
yeah.
never mind. So there is
It did.
one.
Also,
It like-
you
it, like, whisked away,
pulverized
like-
his body,
yeah,
remember?
you-
Also,
You
yes,
you
it's probably
returned to
mush.
Monkey and broke every bone in the body. you
Broke
put
the
him
floor.
him in the
What's a
Spectre's
blood
body.
rage? Why
he just-
can't I remember anything?
You put him in the Spectre's body. He's just in pain eternally.
Uh,
Austin.
Well, there's Tommy's body.
That's a little Zorthos.
What does Lauston say to Luna?
Yeah, well, Austin, what's going on? What do you think?
I am conflicted.
You shouldn't have to. Remember, you guys can't hear me saying this.
Mhm.
We all want you to stay. We do.
I was not prepared to be given the chance to be like them.
It's a choice you will have to make. Either you go on into the void or you carry on your mission.
Lauston,
Yes.
I'm gonna send you a message real quick.
Okay.
Done did it now.
Done did it.
You done freaking did it. What the frick?
What the frick?
This is freaking ridiculous.
Man.
Notes in class?
You guys are passing notes
I don't,
publicly in front of us.
I don't fucking think so. It's effing ridiculous.
Fuck you. Hold on one second. Let me say. I've sent him a DM initially. It says, "Hey, Vitalis, blah 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 blah," and he says, "Hot milfs in your area." And I haven't even finished sending the message yet.
Stop. No.
It is what it
It's
is,
gonna mess you up.
baby.
I think
It
I'm cutting
is
all
what
this
it
shit.
No, you should.
I should keep it. Yeah, I'll keep. I'll
Really
cut the blank
funny.
space. Yeah.
Hot milfs in your area.
The only blank space I see. Oh, if you're keeping this, there's certain things I can't say. I had to stop and think about that for a second.
You know, it's serious, but
Yeah.
but it's. But then there's something else in your area.
All right, there
Man, I've been seeing those ads since I was a kid.
all right.
Those hoes ain't never showed up.
you go. Lawson, you hear a message inside your head. However, the party does not know what this is. Luna, you do look at Vitalis, and you see that she looks at Lawson. And she kind of like nods at him. As you can tell that she has sent him some sort of message inside his head.
Fuck. Fuck. Full send. Let's fucking go.
It's the only way to do it, right?
Is that what you say to Vitalis? Is full send?
Oh no,
Oh, okay.
that's me, the player.
Send
Like,
it, bro.
who's never been this like, the character would be very, very conflicted under this circumstances.
I will tell everybody what the message is after the decision is made. You see that Laos and Vitalis stare at each other. Luna, you can tell they're communicating in some sort of way.
I have detect thoughts. I should be able to hear his side of the conversation,
He
right?
hasn't said anything yet.
Okay.
Right now, Louston has a fucking monkey with symbols in his head. That's all there is. These are the worst trade deals.
This is trade deals.
This is
Make a decision.
Is
Yes.
what it is.
You just say yes.
yes, and then I run out of things to say and go silent.
Luna, all you hear from Lauston is the word yes.
Yes, what, Louston?
Luna, he has made up his mind. She looks at you.
I'll drink to that, bro.
Luna, Vitalis, she looks at you. She says, "You still have that ring I gave you?" You say yes, we didn't hear anything.
Oh, sorry. Yes, I do.
And you remember the promise that you made,
Yeah, of course.
and you're going to uphold that promise.
Of course. I would. Where does my bond?
You see she pulls out of a satchel of hers some sort of like grimoire / like book of study. And you see it's like wrapped in like an old leather. It's a very old book. She kind of unwraps it a little bit and she pulls like a string to open it up. And she flips through it. And as she's like kind of going page by page, she begins to tell you, she's like, "This is what I've worked my entire life on. This circle, flip, this magic, flip of a page. While for the longest time I thought perfect, the longer I lived and the more I saw my mistakes and the more I've witnessed you, I've realized my wrongs. I did not make the perfect circle. However, with studies that you have researched, found from whether it be your parents or other druids that have researched my craft, along with my abilities in craft, you, Luna, can make the perfect circle." You see she flips to a specific page in the book. She puts her hands on it, and it begins to glow in a green aura. She says, "Luna,"
Yes.
as she holds the book like this, hand in hand, you know, hand behind the book, hand on the page. "This book now belongs to you, and I only wish that when you bring me back, you do as we promised. You take my knowledge, you take my studies, and you give me that second chance at having a life." And as she's speaking, the green begins to glow more on her hand. It kind of shoots up to her shoulder and goes around to her other hand. Both of her hands begin to glow in this green color. She holds the book with one hand. She takes the other hand and puts it right into Lauson's chest.
Tell us what?
In an instant, she drops the book as it hits the ground. And you see that Vitalis becomes almost paralyzed, just backwards. as you see as she sticks her hand into Lauson's smoky chest. The smoke that is coming out of his body begins to engulf, circle, swirl, and just go up her arm and cover her chest and cover her other arm and her legs and all of her body. And as you look over at the armor that Lauson wears, it all crumbles and hits the ground. As you see, Vitalis begins to morph, change, more dominant male features appear. The eyes become more like Lauson's. The ears of an elf become more long and pointed. The long hair that is once blonde becomes more of a gray as the smoke begins to sink into the body. A dark elf appears, or darker looking, like reborn elf, essentially. Kind of how Lauson looked initially in the first place, as rather than human looking, reborn, rather an elf this time. Very similar features to Lauson as you once knew him and saw him, however now in elven form.
Skin? Real
What?
skin?
Yes, real skin. Well, just like the reborn skin. He's still reborn.
Mhm.
However,
not as ash-ridden and fiery.
Not as crumbly?
not as crumbly.
Not as crumbly.
Not as crumbly. Still reborn. However, as an elf now, Lauson, you are here in what is like druidic, shamanistic clothing and garb as you look over at your armor on the ground. And the last thing you hear inside your head is, "Use my body well." The voice fades forever. Luna, the book lies at your feet,
I'm gonna pick it
still
up.
open. Lauson, you are able to speak. Mr. Tibbs standing
What?
back. What the fuck was that?
I have several questions.
I have several questions as well. Do I have a... and you can cut it there if you want.
Stop.
You are a
It's an anime
male.
episode. We're
you are
like,
a- you are
I
a
have boobies now.
No,
Do
the
I have
smoke
a
engulfed and
penis?
turned you into a male. You were still you. You essentially took the form of an elf reborn. Yes, you essentially have an elf face. Yeah, you look just like Lauson, however, more elven features now.
Only in Dungeons and Dragons, folks.
Hell yeah.
Only in D&D could something like this happen.
Yes.
Ugh.
Huh.
How do you feel?
So he's back?
I'm...
You see that
Yes.
Vitalis is no more as. The
Is he
smoke-
naked?
No,
No,
he's
he's
still
in
wearing
their
Vitalis
clothes.
clothing. He's wearing like, kind of like they're kind of tight on him because he's like still Lauson now. He just kind of
More
like took the
jacked
shame. Yeah, a little
for
more
her.
jacked. But he's wearing
have
like
a-
kind of tight sorcerer clothing that Vitalis is wearing.
I have a
It
very
flexes
serious
out of him.
question.
Yes.
Do I no longer have my cleric abilities? Because by rights, I shouldn't.
Do me a favor and roll me just to see how much you know. Roll me like an Arcana check just to see how much you can like tap in.
With my original stats, or
Roll me a raw.
Yes.
Well, yeah, whatever. Yeah, whatever your original stats were, like your racial stats, as a reborn would be.
Arcana. Well, you said Arcana, right?
Yeah, to see if you can like tap.
I have
in
plus
your
0 to
memory.
that anyway. That's a 10.
You're a little shaken right now. Like, this is weird. You're in a physical body once again. You're not like smoke just kind of drifting away into nothing. You can actually like move. You can feel your features, but you can't quite click. It's not like quite that. It's not quite clicking with you.
Luna, I don't feel the same at all.
Imagine not. You're in
Something-
a completely different body.
Lauson, you do sense some type of magic, but it's unfamiliar to you. A little more wild. It's a little more raw.
Let
It's
me
just as dark.
Wait, Luna.
What?
I just kind of like go to put my hand out, and then I hesitate, And I just like.
E.T.
Finger.
Wow.
E.T.
I can't. I would do it if I could, but I can't.
Do you reciprocate?
Yes.
Oh, okay. We light year.
You guys light year for a second. Luna, you feel a burning sensation in your fingertip as you take 1 necrotic damage. Lausen, you gain 1 HP.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I thought with the new form, I wasn't hurting people.
It's okay.
Lausen, I have
He's
now.
a monster.
Lausen, I have now just sent you what your. If you would like, we don't have to do this. You could always reclass if you want to. However, being in Vitalis' old body, you naturally have the magic that she once did have. If you don't want to, we can rework it somehow. I've just sent you the Circle of Graves druid that Vitalis was for you to look over if you'd like to.
Yes. Okay.
Nito burrito.
Nito burrito.
That's pretty sweet.
So, you all sit. Luna, you've just touched Lausen, and instantly you feel the pain, and you know exactly what it is because Vitalis did the same to you. And you know that Lausen now is essentially, inherited what power that she had. The clerical power that he once had gone, now replaced with Vitalis's, essentially her circle in this new form and body. Aaron and Zorthos, kind of confused, not knowing exactly what's going on. Luna would know more, but you can tell something is different about whatever Lausen just did. Normally when he touched people, there was some sort of, damage that happened. However, this was a little off.
For now, you're okay.
How do we know it's really him?
It's really-
Louston, tell me something only the real Louston would know.
Your penis is only 6 inches.
What?
Oh, because he did the helicopter
Canonically,
thing
he's seen
forever
it.
ago.
Oh my gosh, that's right. I can't. I'm done. It's true. That is so.
Canonically, he has.
That's the only. That's
Fuck you, David!
It's accurate. Only you would know that.
There's it. It's him.
Oh my god. I like how you said only though.
If you haven't clipped that 18 times, chat, y'all lacking.
Oh my god.
No, face hurts. No.
Ooh.
Sucks to be you, Louston. You're a half elf now.
Will chat finally get the Louston X Zorthos they've been begging for?
Oh god.
You know what? It's that kind of episode.
Oh. The Tib stands around and goes, "What the fuck has just happened?"
We got our
Well-
friend back.
A lot of really complicated things just happened.
I can
But-
tell.
Louston's back to not being falling apart. Aaron is safe, and we need to rest. Zorthos and Louston both need rest.
I'm fine. This is a guy. He looks horrible.
You're not.
I'm
fine.
good.
You're not fine. We
But I'll
need
take a nap if Louston does, but only because I want to.
You're both taking naps, but we need
Because
to know.
I want to take a nap.
I
Actually,
definitely feel weak under all the circumstances.
Well,
This
yeah.
new form is draining. Like, whew.
Out
Um,
of curiosity, Zorthos, do you still have that diamond that I gave you?
Yeah, I've wrote down 1 diamond.
mm,
Did you ever get that appraised?
No. We haven't had time. I keep getting fucked over. I keep getting beat up and shit.
What is
Yeah.
your best guess of how much that is worth? Do you think it's at least worth 300 gold?
Roll intelligence, Zorthos.
Okay. 15.
Yeah, easy. At bare minimum.
Yeah. It's probably worth 500 or 600. Probably. This should do the trick. What do you need it for?
Good. No, we should never sell it. Just hang on to it. Never let that leave your person.
Okay,
You're telling Zorthos not to sell a diamond that's worth that. What?
Yes.
I won't fucking spend it in one place. I won't spend it at all. I'll never spend it.
Please
This
don't-
is-
please
It
don't
is a
sell
symbol
that.
of our friendship.
That
I never get to see you anymore ever since
Oh.
you and Luna started hanging out. I'll just fucking hold on to it so that you're forced to visit me someday when I live alone in the woods.
What? What about the island?
Get mind your business, Luna. It's my life. I don't need you guys tracking me down when this is done.
So,
Where's all of the politicians? Where's all the leadership?
probably all dead.
yeah, Tibbs speaks up and says, well, it appears that in our time absent from this land, that either people have escaped and made their way to refuge and are now gone and leaving Haxos to a more safe location, or, as he looks at the bodies that are kind of just crippled and lying dead on the ground, or dead. Now, it appears we do need a rest, and from my understanding, from what I overheard, we need to go to the main continent of Aal'Teron? Okay.
Yep.
How far away is that? How long is it going to take us to get there? And our original plan was to have Vitalis. Well, a good plan would have been for Vitalis to teleport us there, but Laustin, you've never been there, so that's not going to work anymore.
Well, you see, the
No,
main
I guess
continent,
not.
the main continent of Aal'Teron is about 2 to 3 days by sea, or about a half a day or a day by air, depending on vessel you take.
Air, got it.
Wait, are they Zorthos?
Yeah, what's up, bro?
On the off chance that there was at least one airship still in Haxos, would you know somewhat how to pilot it?
I don't know, DM. Would I know how to drive a fucking airship for some reason?
Roll
Wait, hold
roll
on.
just a straight intelligence check to see.
I was about to say, because I know Haxos has them, whether there's still any in the
15.
air right now.
We know where the refugees are going. We
My
Zorthos,
minimum
you've read a
is
few
15.
manuals that you've stolen about airships, because you always thought they were fascinating, like just watching them like fly above, and you always told yourself, I'm gonna fucking have one of those one day, I swear to God. So I imagine you probably did some studying, because you, being you, probably planned on getting one somehow, some way, in some shape or form someday.
Yeah, if you find an airship, you bet your
Zorthos,
fucking
do you want to
ass.
steal an airship?
There's not
Today?
anybody to stop us.
Yes.
I pull out my gun and I'm like, yeah, I want to steal an airship. I've always wanted to fucking drive an airship.
Luna, Laustin, me and Zorthos are going to do some really shady shit, and you can rightfully judge us later for it, but
No.
Yeah, Tim
This is a
says,
good
Time is
Tim
of the
straight up
essence.
says, like, I don't think anybody is here to stop us, and if they were,
Right.
I'm pretty sure if we explained the situation, they'd probably just let us go.
Or we'll shoot them. Let's get that
No,
airship.
Or we shoot them.
Let's find
Yeah!
the airship then.
let's find an airship.
What I know with my knowledge of the town, like where I think our best bet.
you would know
of
that
where an
there's
airship would
there's
be.
definitely on the eastern side of the mountain, that is where most of the Haxonians had their like airship dock, because when they would leave and go on either missions or like crusades, whatever it happened to be, they would always like leave out of like the hangar, which is like on the right side of the mountain. That's where it's built into the mountain itself. That's definitely your best bet. You would probably know how to get there. Like I said, this is your home, your stomping grounds. You know exactly what this place is. So if there's any airships left that are still in use or not destroyed, or whatever happens to be, they're probably going to be in the hangar on the eastern side of the mountain. And yeah.
Can I use especially here, my city secrets, like my knowledge of the city to make it through?
Yeah. Like I said, you are essentially. Nobody in Haxos is either alive to stop you, or the people, the civilians that are alive, probably wouldn't stop you anyways. Any of the guards, so you imagine any of the guards that were patrolling throughout town, that were, blue-eyed, like spirited, they've probably fallen limp and just like become dead bodies as well. And most of the civilian survivors that were in town that made their way to the sewers started leaving, like when you guys made your way to the keep. AKA, this is a hey, we're in the end game, new shit zone, get what you need. This is like the
Haxos.
save this is like
This
the
is new
save
shit
point.
zone
Yeah.
number 2.
This is like the
Part
save
2.
point before you go into the final like chapter of a fucking video game.
Hey, Zorthos.
Yeah.
I know that when I first
This
met you,
better
I was
not be about the diamond, dude, because
No,
I haven't
no.
sold it. Okay.
No. I was just gonna say, I know when I met you, I was kind of a hard ass for like sticking to the rules, but with everything else that's going on right now, you're probably not gonna get a better chance to do what you do best and just go apeshit on the way to the airship.
I don't think I'm as strong as you might think that I am. But I can shoot out people's windows. I'm really tired, though.
As I'm saying this, I'm just going by like any kind of like unattended vendor stall that has like food just on display and just like
Oh, are you guys traveling
packing
right
it
now?
away. Walking
okay.
and talking. And I'm just like grabbing
Yeah.
like there's bits
Grabbing
of bread,
food.
whatnot. Like
Yes.
just
Yeah, you're getting
supplies
any
for the
kind of
journey.
food,
Supplies, all
supplies,
sorts of
general
supplies.
stuff. Yeah, just general supplies and like
Tools.
spell components,
Tools.
tools that you would need. Now,
Absolutely.
as you were going through, I imagine at some point you'd probably go through like the forge again, or different weaponries, armor shops, anything like that. This is your
Anything else
opportunity
like
for
that.
you as players to pitch me as player to DM. Maybe one specific thing you would like to try to find for yourself.
Underwear.
The more rare that it, the more rare that it
change of
is,
clothes.
the higher the less of a chance you may be able to find it. However, there's never no chance.
I'm going to look for a wand of fireballs. I will loot the
Yeah.
local Walmart. I'm going in, gun drawn, and I'm just like, hey, ain't nobody got to get hurt. Everybody out of my way. And I'm going to look for a wand.
Okay. If I can find, let's see, I'm trying to think of everybody else here. If I can find,
Messaging stones, sending stones.
yeah, fucking,
Please.
we need sending stones.
Okay.
Let's see if we can find some
Please. Oh,
sending
God,
stones.
please.
So Zorthos is going to look for a wand of fireballs. Aaron is going to look for some sending stones.
It doesn't have to
Mhm.
be a wand of fireballs. I'm looking for an offensive wand.
And off, like what kind?
Like a cone of cold, lightning bolts, fireball. I'm looking for an AoE wand. It doesn't have to be
Okay.
a fireball. I'm keeping my options loosey goosey,
Gotcha.
baby.
You're
I
just
was
trying
gonna
to
say, wand of
find...
magic missiles wouldn't be bad.
All right, we'll do this.
Never
Luna,
misses.
you tell me first. As you guys are pillaging Haxos, kind of getting what you need, knowing that you're probably got some sort of battle ahead of you or something to figure out as you go to the main continent. Is there anything you're trying to find or look for specifically?
Probably something that I would find useful while in form, while in wild shape.
While in wild shape.
So something that like contributes to either that contributes to like I don't know. I have no idea. I'm looking like stats of some way.
All right, I think I have an idea. Louston,
Nice.
anything
Yes.
you are trying to look for specifically?
A hammer.
Oh, I know.
A hammer.
That's it. I'm grabbing me mallet.
As you were leaving, we'll start with
Smash
Louston.
him with a hammer!
We'll start with Louston. As you were all, because that's easy. Louston, as you are walking out of
Big
the Haxonian
mall.
Keep with everybody, you turn around, you look over the old throne, and you would see that there was a hammer that sit kind of on a mantle above where the throne once was. This was known as the King's Hammer. Long, long ago in Aal'Teron, one of the kings of the many kings that there have been was a dwarf from Haxos. When he died, his hammer was brought here in honor of him. And whenever there is a dwarven king, it is their rightful duty and contribution to wield the hammer and keep it at their side as their weapon of choice, but only be taken from the mantle in times when needed the most, because it was always rumored and specifically, had tales of magic properties. Zorthos, you specifically would probably know all of this, as he's kind of eyeballing it. But Louston, you probably wouldn't, but...
I walk over briskly.
Okay.
Briskly.
And I grab the hammer.
Okay. Grab the hammer off the mantle. It is essentially like a warhammer. It's like a two-handed hammer, similar to what you used to have.
Okay.
Okay. This was a hammer. Hold on one second.
Do we have stats on it? And can it look like this? And I'm sending you the graphic now because it would be awesome.
Okay, hold on. Let me take a look.
Please.
Absolutely, yes. It can look like that.
Isn't that cool?
Yes.
I
On
was
one
like,
end,
the way
it
you
is. On
described
one
it,
end,
like-
it is a hammer mallet. On the opposite end, it does have the side, like the sharp side of an axe, with a point down at the bottom, like a javelin of sorts. Zorthos.
Yes.
I imagine as you're looking at this, you're probably explaining to Lausen what exactly that is. Or no, would you not?
Yeah, I'd explain it.
Okay. Zorthos, you would also know that this was one of the very few and utterly rare hammers of Moradin, rumored to be crafted in his forge in the heavens itself, and that is why it is passed down from king to king. Lausen, it is a +3 hammer. On a hit, it's a +3. Go ahead.
What was the title for it?
It is a hammer of Moradin.
Okay.
It's a +3 hammer, and on a hit, on top of the 1d10 bludgeoning that it'll do, or slashing, whichever side you choose to use, it also does an additional 2d8 radiant damage.
Oh, baller.
Holy
Yes.
crap.
Hell
This
yeah.
is essentially like a legendary item. It just happened to be like one of the things that was like here,
Just waiting for Lausten to come pick it up.
Yes, all this
Oh,
time.
yeah.
I'm
Lausten,
King
you have
Lauston
this
now.
new hammer in your hands. Feels nice. It doesn't feel evil, much like the hammer you once used to have when, the hammer you fell with the Spectre. Let's go over. I'm going to do Luna, I think, last, because I think I like what I have planned for Luna. Aaron, as you are currently pillaging, rummaging everything you can possibly find, you find a place that is called Bo's Trinkets. A small little shop full of various miscellaneous adventuring gear, items, small magical little knickknacks and stuff that people would use. Not on a consistent basis, but there are some small things that as a bounty hunter or a ranger would work out perfect for you. You with ease are able to find some sending stones in here. This is a very common item, especially here in Haxos. You find enough for the party. There's easily 5-6 available that you just kind of snatch and put into a bag. As you continue to look around, you do see that there is one area in particular. There's a very, very small kind of like weaponry area, but not for just weapons. It's not just like weapons directly. It's like small little attachments for weapons, trinkets per se, to like enhance or make things better. You do see that there is some sort of device that looks like it clips onto a bow. It looks like some sort of like metal lock piece, and on the side of it is like some sort of gem. Like almost like you can open it up and like clip it onto the side of a bow.
Okay. Definitely taking that.
Okay. Would you like to roll an Arcana or Intelligence check to see if you can figure out what it is?
For the sake of brevity, I'll wait about that.
Okay.
Reconvened again and
Okay.
on the airship. Yeah, so I'm taking that. Taking a couple of trinkets at random. If you want me to roll like a D4 or something.
Yeah, roll me like a D6.
Okay. That is a 2.
Let's see. I lied. Roll me a D100. Said.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a trinket table here. Just see what you get.
I love
Okay.
those.
Yeah.
I was about to say I rarely get to roll those, so I have to dig mine out. Hang on. Okay. Okay, so 70 and one fell out of the tower. 71.
71. Okay, you find a small packet filled with pink dust. You don't know what the pink dust does, but you can tell it's some sort of magical dust. Just like a little, like the ramen like powder stuff that you would get like in the little packets. It looks like one of those, but it has like some sort of like pink powder in it.
Okay.
You can probably grab a couple of those. I will allow you to roll a D100 one more time.
Okay. Can I look for one thing in particular?
Yes. Before you roll,
you said I'm gonna.
Yeah, you're like in like a trinket store. That's where like the speaking stones would be. What thing in particular are you trying to look for?
A ring of resistance or even a ring of protection.
Let's see. Boop, 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 boop. Let's do this. Roll me a D20.
That is a 19.
Boo-ba-doo. Boo-doo, boo-ba-doo, boo. Okay, you find a ring of resistance.
Okay.
The ring of resistance essentially gives you +2 to your AC. I lied. No, that's the wrong one. You have resistance to one type of damage wearing this ring.
Okay.
Do me a favor, roll me a D10.
D10.
Yes.
Okay. I just had my D10s. Okay. 10.
10, Thunder. It is a ring of thunder resistance.
Hell yeah.
All right. I'll take that.
So you find yourself this attachment for your bow. You're not sure what it does yet. You get the speaking stones for the party. This packet of pink dust that you're not exactly sure what it does. And a ring of thunder resistance. Zorthos, I imagine that you were going into some sort of like magic shop of sorts.
Yes.
Through your ventures and stuff in Haxos, you probably stole this spellbook from a very specific shop.
Okay.
And I imagine you probably went back to here. Now that it is kind of free reign, nobody is here. You walk in, the bell rings. As you look around, and you see that this is definitely a pretty free open area. However, it does look like a lot of stuff in here has kind of been looted already. This is a very high potent like shop that where people would come to when like a ransack would happen. So when people were probably trying to get out of town, they were probably pillaging whatever they could just take with them. However, you're looking for a wand specifically. You're not really sure what kind or don't really care what kind. You just want a wand.
like when you're in a store and they have like the nice stuff is like you need a little bit of employee assistance to get to it. I'm looking for those ones. I'm looking for the ones out of toddler reach. Halflings need step stools to get to the ones I want to get.
The one's behind the glass case.
All right, do me a favor and roll me a D. You can do this in the Discord if you want to, because of how many that I have on this chart. Roll me a D30, just to make it easier.
All right, I'm gonna roll. Cast admin chat. I got an 11.
11. 11. One wand in particular, for some reason, just kind of like catches your eye. You're not sure exactly what it does, but as you grab it, you pull it down. Roll me an Arcana check to see if you can figure out what it is. It looks very shiny. You see that it looks, has like a very sleek wooden like spiral that goes up of it. And at the very tip, you see that there is some sort of like blue like light on it. Not like a magical light, almost like, some sort of like actual light bulb, because these are made here in Haxos, so it does have a little bit of tech to it. Roll me an Arcana check, see if you can figure it out.
Arcana is intelligence, so I'm not proficient. 15.
15, is that with the -4?
Ooh, 11.
With an 11, still above a 10, you can figure this out because it's very basic to, you're just identifying something. This is a Wand of Binding. It has 7 charges for the following properties. It regains 1d6 + 1 spell slots at dawn. Spells. While holding the wand, you can use an action to expend some of its charges to cast one of the following spells. The spell save DC is 17. Hold Monster has 5 charges, or Hold Person has 2 charges. While holding the wand, you can use your reaction to expend 1 charge to gain advantage on a saving throw you make to avoid being paralyzed or restrained, or you can expend 1 charge and gain advantage on any check you make to escape a grapple. I will take a screenshot of this and send it to you.
Okay, awesome.
That was a good roll. That's a really good.
It sounds like it. I want to
really
read
good.
it because that was a lot.
Yes, it's a really good fucking wand. I just sent it to you.
Oh yeah.
Luna, good to you. As you're traveling through Haxos, trying to figure out, needed gear, materials, items, and everything else. Zorthos, I imagine you've told the party kind of, where to go to find what at this time.
Yeah, they gave him like the basic gist.
Yeah, the rundown. Zorthos probably mentioned something about the armored combatants that the citizens and the guards of Haxos used to ride. They used to ride around various different machinery that had weapons on it, but also they used to put on weapons, machines, gear on various animals they used to ride in the battle. Bears, tigers, horses. You find yourself at the armored companion shop, where there is pretty much like a forge and various different sorts of equipment and gear. As you look around, you see 3 things specifically that could work out to you. There is there's a harness for your back, like somebody could like ride it on top of you, like get on top of you and like ride it, and it is essentially a plus, where's it at? Sorry, harness of speed. While it is on you, both the person that is on top of you or riding you or you just having it on yourself would give you an additional plus 30-foot movement speed while having it on. There is a harness of strength, similar thing, kind of like goes on, they're magically in tune. The harness of strength will give you a plus 3 to your strength score when wild shaped when having it on. And then there is a harness of protection, which essentially has like an aura. That when anybody is within plus 10 feet of you, when you are a wild shape, they get a plus 2 to their AC.
Last one. Don't even have to think about it.
Last one, don't even think about it. Now, as you grab this last harness, I want you to do me a favor, because this is something I actually did make a while ago, that I never got to use in a campaign, but only if you were lucky enough to see it. Roll me a perception check.
19.
Okay. With a 19, you see that there is an attachment that could go on one of these harnesses. And it looks very, very similar to Zorthos' rifle. It's essentially kind of like a rifle attachment, like a Haxonian rifle attachment that you would put like on the back of like the harness for somebody that's riding it.
Turning myself into a bear tank.
Yes, essentially that's what it is. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
A bear tank.
Tank bear.
Yeah, a long time ago, I think this is like when we were writing the Codex of Quests. I didn't put it in the book because I couldn't find a place to put it, but it was like, yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine an animal that had like an attachment on his back, like a fucking gun, and make it like a tank, just like walking into like a horse with a gun on its back, just. So you get this harness, and you get this essentially this gun that can attach to the back of it that can be used kind of as it's easier to use when somebody's actually manning it and controlling themselves. So somebody that is actually like on top of you while they're like shooting it, they're gonna have better control over it. However, you can activate it yourself, but there's gonna be no additional like bonuses to the roll. It's just gonna be a flat d20 to see if you can hit, because it's kind of like wildly shooting it, whereas somebody that is kind of like mounted you would be able to control it, move it, and shoot it as needed.
I'm well, knowing that that's going to be a little difficult to like carry around for someone with my strength score. I'm gonna look around and see if I can find like a bag of holding.
Do me a favor and roll me an intelligence check.
That's gonna be 12.
You would know that Zorthos has a bag of holding, because Aaron gave it to him. Remember when Aaron flipped the bag inside out and caused that big suction wave to happen? And he gave it to Zorthos? Zorthos has a bag of holding. You would know that Aaron gave it to him.
Snitch.
I thought the world was ending when I did that. I was like, oh no, I've made a grave mistake.
I have all of the stuff.
Yeah, you know Zorthos has one.
Okay. Do I think I'll be able to carry this?
By
myself?
Yeah, it's not really, the harness is made of like leather. It's just magic. It's not like a big metal thing. It's like a leather harness. You could easily just kind of like...
The weapon.
Yeah, it's really just essentially like a rifle that's on like a pivot stand that like goes into the armor itself. So you're pretty much just carrying a gun of like over one shoulder and like a harness over the other. You could easily carry this stuff.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna start carrying it.
So Luna is now a tank. Lausen now possibly becoming a druid.
Working on it.
With a hammer. Aaron, you got a really cool attachment for your bow and some cool new trinkets and items. Zorthos, you have a really dope fucking wand. Everybody converges back in town after gathering their needed supplies, and you make your way to the Haxonian airship armory. Takes you a little bit of time to get there because you do have to go like through the keep again, up to the spiral on the side, but eventually you make your way there. As you do make your way to the kind of the airship dock, you see that there are very little in here. It looks like a lot of people did evacuate to try to like get out as fast as they could. Some are broken, some are damaged because there was a massive battle here. But there are one or two kind of like straggling about. They're not exactly warships. They look like more like trade and travel ships, but they could easily suit a party of like, 5 to 10 people comfortably.
Trade and travel ships.
Yeah, they're not like armed with weapons or anything. They're just really meant for like transport.
I'd like to go pilfer through the one of the trade ships if at all possible.
Uh-huh.
I'm just looking for more diamonds.
Roll me
roughly the same size as the one I gave Zorthos.
Roll me a D100.
Okay. 39.
Not necessarily. With a 39, you do find some miscellaneous kind of like jewels and gems, but nothing specific to a diamond. Probably about like 200 gold worth of just random kind of stuff that you'd find. But it looks like, again, like most places here, a lot of things have kind of pillaged and, taken and stolen. The people that got on these ships and kind of ran away probably pillaged anything worth of like high value here while they were getting out. But you do find some stuff probably worth about like 200 gold, just like random gold pieces, some small gems, some small jewels, some necklaces and stuff. Looks like they would be going to be shipped off to like another continent, like maybe like Elvenglade for trade and stuff.
All right, well then in that case,
do I see that?
Yes, so it looks like most of these ships have been kind of like pillaged, ransacked, everything kind of taken. That's kind of worth high value.
That's fine, as long as I can find a pair of silver rings.
Yeah, you find a couple.
Okay, that'll work.
But you find a ship indeed.
All right. Zorthos, let's look up to par for you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why not. So these gems that are sort of just here and about, do I sense anything Arcana related about it?
Is this a trap?
This is a trap.
It's a trap.
It's a trap.
You're asking.
Can I just pick these up, or do these look like? Is this like Aladdin when they went under the desert and they weren't allowed to touch anything?
You're asking me, or you're asking?
I'm asking
Aaron?
you
About the gems and the stuff that Aaron picked up.
Yeah. This doesn't look like a holy place. It's just
it's
normal
not
ass shit.
He just found some just normal basic stuff. He just has like a handful of just like trinkets and gold and like random things he just kind of found.
Yeah.
Like scattered throughout.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I'm assuming you all board the ship and prepare to make way.
Mm-hmm.
As you all get on, you know that it's probably about a day's travel by air to get to the main continent of Aal'Teron. Zorthos, you go to the ship, you kind of empower it. It is powered in the bottom of the ship, kind of like below the deck, by some sort of like magical, similar to a Mythalar, but like on a very, very small scale. Essentially, you kind of expend one spell slot to kind of spark it to get it to power up, and it kind of glows like this blue energy, and it stays on until it is dispelled. As you do that, the ship takes off, takes flight, and you all take out the side of the mountain, heading to the main continent of Elvenglade. The sky remains to be dark. Stars, however, bright and shine and show the pathway. The ocean ahead of you, with the main continent of Aal'Teron, far in the distance beyond what the eye can see, at least for now. As you look back at Haxos, you swear you see in the distance, very small, like almost ant-sized, figures moving south off of the continent, knowing that the people in the sewers did indeed make it out safely. You all take a long rest, I imagine kind of like in shift and rotation, getting everybody back to full HP. Zorthos, I will say that this is a very good opportunity for you, despite your debuffs. This is the first time where you can kind of rest easy, relax, not be tense, not be overly stressed out about anything. Everybody levels up to level 12 now. Zorthos, your debuffs are now gone.
Oh, thank God.
The main continent of Aal'Teron awaits. And that's where we're going to end this week's episode of Secrets of Aal'Teron.
Adventure awaits.
Adventure.
See, I didn't end on a fucking cliffhanger this time.
I didn't end it on a fucking cliffhanger this time.
Wow, that's just rude. You know what? Fine. A fireball comes crashing down from the sky.
Rock
heading,
fall from the sky.
heading a
All on
meteor
your
from
heads.
the
You're
heavens,
dead.
comes falling towards the ship, but it doesn't quite hit it yet. And that's where we're ending this week's episode of Secrets of Aal'Teron.
Hashtag toxic.
Hashtag toxic. Thanks guys for watching. Thanks for hanging out. With this being said, we only have about 2 more episodes left of this campaign. The party's getting there. They just got their new ship again. They just left the safe zone. They just left their safe spot. And they're heading towards the main continent for the final resolution to figure out what the fuck the king is doing, what the hell the prince is doing, where is the prince's daughter, where's the phylactery, and why did all of this happen in the first place? And maybe there's some more they don't know yet. Let's do a little bit of closing thoughts for everybody, or closing outros. Grisms, go ahead.
Hi, everybody. It's Grizz Squatch. And hi, Mom. This has been
Hi,
a
Grizz's
fun
mom.
ride. This has been a fun ride. I've had a blast with all of you. A little sad that it's ending. It's coming to a close, but you know, we had a great time.
What a way to like go into being a dad. End of a campaign.
I know, right?
Start of fatherhood.
Start of fatherhood.
Yes.
I wasn't nervous until like a couple days ago when it actually started like really setting in, and I was like, "Oh,
Fuck.
yeah."
All right. Real David Grace.
Hey, what's up? I'm now Vitalis Louston. Didn't see that coming.
I didn't know you were gonna take that
Anyway.
deal. I was like, hey, this, and you're like full send. I'm like, all right, bet.
Anyway, we have a show on the YouTubes, and it's pretty cool. And we're
It
like
is.
on track to get 1,000 subs, and we hope that you're part of our 1,000.
Yeah. Prototopics.
Prototopics. Yes,
Prototopics.
I didn't say it. Prototopics.
Prototopics.
I said-
Field trip.
I said it for
Field
you.
trip.
Congratulations. Luna, Thick Pastel.
Hello. Well, I had so much fun playing Luna. I've always enjoyed all your comments and all the fun things you have to say about her. And I guess now I have to live vicariously through Tyra, who is my character in the
Tyra
other
Banks.
campaign.
Tyra
Tyra
Banks.
Banks.
Steakums. Anything. I know you probably have fact of the day, and I also have one too.
Oh,
You're stepping on my
I'm letting you do yours first.
some of my turf over here.
Actually, do you want me to do mine first? Because you're split
Yeah,
up better
yeah.
than mine.
Yeah,
Okay,
you go
I found
get
this
your
out
bullshit
today.
out of the
The
way.
last person ever to get Dale Earnhardt's signature before he died, hours before he died, was Frankie Muniz.
Well, that's depressing.
It's very
Well,
well,
nice.
that-
now I have to go find and fight Frankie Muniz.
Yeah, I saw a TikTok today. He was in an interview. He's like, yeah, I'm the last person ever got Dale Earnhardt's signature because I was at the track. He signed my jacket, and then he got in his car, and then the accident happened. He's like, I
Oh
was
my
fucked up.
God.
Yeah, he's like, I was fucked up. Like, I found out in the hotel that he died from the accident, and I was a mess because like I didn't know what to do, and I'm like, damn.
That's ridiculous. Think how much worth that jacket has now.
Probably
That's the
has. I
last
wouldn't.
thing he touched.
Dude,
I
that
wouldn't
thing
get
is
rid of it.
priceless.
Yeah, I
That's
wouldn't get rid of it.
priceless.
I think he still has it from what he was saying. So
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I was about to say, Frankie Muniz, if you're watching, roll a level 20 character and fight
Frankie
my
Muniz,
level 20
if you're
character and
watching.
fight me 101.
all right, everybody.
He'll let me touch
Frankie
it.
Muniz,
Just
cantrip cast
once.
confirmed. Not really. All right, Steak, give us your fact of the day.
As we were approaching, my fact of the day, as we're approaching the end, is in the original ending of the Little Red Riding Hood, the wolf eats her at the end.
Yep.
And so the big bad wolf is going to eat us too.
Probably.
Hopefully from the back.
See you next week, everybody. Bye, Grizz's mom.
Bye,
Bye,
Grizz's
Grizz's
mom.
mom.